And welcome to Rob Schmitt tonight. Finally, some election polling that seems to make sense. A New York Times Siena College poll released this morning shows Republicans in pretty serious control heading into the midterms. A 6-point swing toward Republicans. The new poll, which typically leans left, like most polling we see in this country, showing a 4-point lead for Republicans just 3 weeks out. And that's the generic ballot. That never seems to look good for Republicans most of the time when you watch those generic ballot polling. And remember, if the New York Times says Republicans by 4, that could be 8, could be 10, could be 12. Apparently, Americans are less than impressed with a government more concerned with virtue than quality of life. Abortion, of course, was supposed to save the midterms for Democrats, and it certainly has given them some much-needed support. Just imagine for a moment what the numbers would look like right now if that Supreme Court ruling hadn't happened. That is how horribly your government is being run. Right now, left-wing ideologues are literally selling a doomsday tale to their voters. Liberals believe that their right to bodily autonomy is at stake in this election. Of course, a warped view of abortion that's been created over the past 50 years. And even with that narrative, many Democrats are still either not going to vote or will vote Republican in the next election. That's how bad things are. Democrats, of course, had an October surprise prepared, one they've been waiting 20 months to unveil. And of course, it revolves around the only issue that liberal politicians and the media care about, the insurrection.
How soon in the future can you have the place evacuated?
After months of one-sided January 6th hearings, we get this video popping up from a party, of course, that was entirely too insecure about January 6th to let the other side be heard during those hearings. The same woman who failed to secure the Capitol, even though there was quite a threat that day, effectively invited this massive crowd of angry Trump supporters to escalate into a riot at the Capitol. Well, that same woman is releasing her daughter's footage. It's 20 months old, releasing it 3 weeks before the midterm elections, waiting 20 months to release footage for political benefit. Whatever credibility Democrats thought they had regarding January 6th has now completely evaporated. Pelosi wasn't worried when rioters attacked the Capitol and broke some windows and marched around. She wasn't worried at all. In fact, she was gleaming. You can see it in the video. It was probably the best day she had had in a while. She was licking her lips at all of the political capital that was being created that day, and also desperately showing off for the camera, like this.
I'm going to punch him out. This is my mom. I would pay to see that. I've been waiting for this, for trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm going to punch him out, and I'm going to go to jail, and I'm going to be happy.
She's the funniest woman. Again, politics is Hollywood for ugly people. We say it all the time. It's so true. These are just horrible actors trying to be cool. They get a camera on them. They behave like little kids. The media has spent 2 years talking about January 6th. 2 years. Assisting Democrats in forcing the American people to pretend to care by brainwashing them, making it a midterm election issue. And we've gotten another really clear look at their priorities. With the world collapsing around us as it is right now, look internationally how bad things look. The American economy is imploding. You can see it every day. And they tell you that January 6th is what you should really be worried about. And integrity of democracy. With Democrats so distorted, so ridiculously distorted, so unable to see the disaster that they have created, Republicans have begun dumping money into districts in this next midterm election that you would never expect. Almost $25 million is being poured into districts in Oregon, Connecticut, California. The New York Times finding a massive political shift in independent women, a demographic that was plus 14 Democrat in September, women who identify as independent politically, was plus 14 in September, went to plus 18 Republican in just 1 month. So from 14 Democrat to 18 Republican in a month. It's almost impossible to believe. But then you look at the landscape and you realize that the party in power and the media that gave them that power are just absolutely and completely blind to the priorities of what Americans actually need, and they don't care. The mainstream media and Democrat Party do not speak to Americans anymore. They talk at them. This is what you're supposed to care about. You're not supposed to care about inflation. You're not supposed to care about your job. You're supposed to care about January 6th. You're supposed to care about defending democracy as if they could even spell the word. You're supposed to care about protecting Ukraine. What you personally care about What matters to you in your personal life has never been a priority in Washington. And Americans of all political stripes are waking up to that.